strength, and that's a rare quality.
Well, thank you. I'm very humbled by that. I really am. No pun intended. I really am. But I will tell you, it was Winston Churchill who said, "You'll never get where you're going if you throw a rock at every barking dog." Right? I mean, the truth is, there's a lot of distractions in Washington, D.C. that take your eye off the prize of actually working issues that are affecting the American people. And I'm running for president because the American people are hurting. All right? And the enemies of freedom have been emboldened in the world. And this is a moment that cries out for American leadership. But I want to respond to one thing that you said because it's a deep conviction of mine. I mean, long before our administration arrived in Washington, D.C., our political discourse in this country had become filled with invective on both sides of the aisle. Okay? A lot of people like to point at my former running mate, talk about his approach. But frankly, it's been happening in Washington, D.C. over the last 15 years. I've watched the erosion of the debate. And I think the American people want two things in this next election. I think they want to return to the policies that made our nation stronger and more prosperous than ever before that pandemic hit. But I think the American people want to see us restore a threshold of civility in the public debate, where we can debate these issues in the same way the American people talk to one another every day. You know, I tell people, maybe it's because I moved out of Washington, D.C., but you know, I mean, our politics are more divided than ever before, but I'm not convinced the American people are as divided as our politics. You get 15 miles out of Washington, D.C., the people of this country actually get along pretty well most days, right? Yeah, and your family alone, right? And I just think, what I like to say is we got to have government as good as our people, that treats one another the way the American people treat each other just about every day. That's how you create the conditions where you get things done. Okay, there are things that you're always going to be on the other side of the divide from someone in the other party, but there's a whole range of issues that if you preserve a level of civility in public life, you can find ways to work together and solve real problems. And I'm going to tell you, men and women, the widening threats that we face around the world, that national debt that threatens to literally crush the vitality out of our economy for our children and grandchildren. These are the scope of issues that really are going to require us to have leadership that has at least the chance of bringing people together. And I promise you that's the kind of leadership I'll bring. I really will. Yes, sir, right here.
You got